are going to the family of Senator John McCain. Going to be a lot of activity over the next number of days, and we very much appreciate everything that Senator McCain has done for our country. So thank you very much.
The president earlier tonight at the Evangelical Leadership Dinner at the White House praising Senator John McCain for his unmatched service to this nation. After we learned this weekend, of course, that Senator McCain, he'd been on this program many times, agreeing and disagreeing quite often, actually. And his colleague, probably his closest friend in the Senate, Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted out, quote, "America and freedom have lost one of her greatest champions, and I've lost one of my dearest friends and a mentor." Senator Graham, I'm sorry about your loss. I really am.
Hey, thanks for what you said to me privately and what you said publicly. It means a lot to Cindy and the kids and the family to hear all these nice things said about John. So thank you.
Well, you know what? What I also tweeted was, I said, you and I have fights, political fights. And I had him with, you're right. So what? And I had him with Senator McCain. But I am proud. Yeah. I got to know his wife, Cindy, was lovely, and Megan. Yeah. And she was a former colleague, radio and TV.
You traveled everywhere with us, and those
I did, and I'm proud that I fought for him because he was the better choice by far.
Amen.
And what he did in Vietnam, 5 years in a POW camp, bones broken. I mean, how could you? And I know that he didn't like the president. They fought. So what?
I wish we'd had more time, but it is what it is. They fought, and so we're going to look forward. We're going to give him the send-off he deserves.
Yes.
I have cried a lot, and I am going to try to get over it. And I'm going to speak tomorrow in the Senate. His desk is right by mine, and I hope I don't crack up. And I'm going to tell people what I've learned from John, and it was a lot. Perfect is not John McCain.
I remember when he came back.
Perfect is not John McCain.
Do you remember when he said,
but good, decent, and honorable is John
Don't
McCain.
listen to those guys on cable or talk radio. They can go straight to hell. And I'm like, okay, you didn't mind listening to me in 2008 when I was helping him. But he was a hero.
Yes, sir, he was. Well, he loved his country. If I had to pick one person in the entire country to explain America to a foreigner, it'd be John. Oh. I mean, he had a romantic view of the nation that never died. He loved America, willing to die for it. And he could be tough on his colleagues, but the fact that everybody he was tough on,
that's an understatement.
Oh, my God. The stories we could tell, which we want, but he could forgive, too.
You know, you actually said something. You're going to get mad. I'm going to bring this up. You said it to me privately. I hope you don't mind. You said, in many ways, the president and him were alike. I don't know what you meant by that.
Well, they're pretty hard-edged guys. At the end of the day, what the president said tonight, thank you.
We put out a statement earlier today. Everyone was complaining, I guess somebody had changed the flag at half-staff, but they put it back.
John Kelly, I don't know if John's listening, he called right after John passed to the family. The president tells General Kelly whatever they need, they have. We're going to look forward. We're going to talk about what does it mean for the country for John to have been in the Senate. What does it mean for us who've been around him? What can we do to build on his legacy? Where can I help the president?
Do you notice what I notice? And all these people that said, I supported John McCain in 08. I went to war for John McCain in 08.
You never called him
crazy. I wanted him to win. But all these people that are like, he was the greatest. I can go verse and chapter how vicious they were to him. Is it better to be nicer in life than, like Ronald Reagan, they trashed him. Then he passes on, one of the greatest presidents. That's not what you said back then.
You know what John would say? I'll take it where I can get it. This is the same guy in 2008 who was mentally deranged. Yeah. The same guy in 2008 who ran a campaign like George Wallace. But you know what? The fact that people say good things about him now, I appreciate. But the family appreciates it. He's got a family. He's got a son who's coming back from Afghanistan. He's got a son who's been in Iraq and Afghanistan. Megan, they all appreciate this.
Let me ask you about, you said that the president has a right to his own attorney general.
Yeah.
I agree with you. What's happened to Jeff Sessions?
Well, I like Jeff, but it ain't working. If they can't repair this relationship, and I don't see that happening, the president deserves an attorney general that he feels confident in, that can lead the Department of Justice in a more effective way.
Is it wrong that Hillary got away with the email stuff? Is it wrong that FISA courts were lied to? Is it wrong that Russian lies were paid for and disseminated to the American people? And where's Mueller?
The Hillary Clinton investigation was corrupt at its core. They liked her, hated Trump. The initial Russia investigation was corrupt at its core. The same guy in charge of clearing her was the same guy of starting the Russia investigation, Peter Strzok. I don't know why we don't have a special counsel. I can't explain that to people in South Carolina. Okay, I hope we
and
can...
FISA courts, would you ever lie to a judge?
Let me tell you, where's the
Would
courts?
you delete subpoenaed emails?
I would tell the judge, hey, oh, by the way, this guy's on the payroll of the Democratic Party. You ought to consider that. The bottom line, it was corrupt, and we need to fix it so we don't do it again.
But we're going after people for taxes and loan applications, not Russia.
The bottom line, if the president did not collude with the Russians, and I don't believe he did, this is just going to be a lot of noise.
Senator, I'm sorry. I know how close you are. And our thoughts and prayers to Cindy, Megan, and the entire family.
I am better off for having known him. He loved his country, and we will be talking a lot about what he did and how there's a little John McCain in all of us. If we can bring that out, the country will be in a good spot.
Thank you, Senator. More Hannity after this.